I don't care how much training I give you. I don't care how much equipment I give you. Sometimes that angel on your shoulder is the reason that you survive. And that young man last night had an angel on his shoulder.
Breaking at 5, we are now seeing the moments a man opened fire on Volusia County deputies on the rush to save the deputy's life. One of those bullets ricocheted off his body camera and into his shoulder.
And the second shot hit his leg, barely missing a critical artery. Sheriff Mike Chitwood says that deputy was inches away from death. The man accused of pulling the trigger, Luis Diaz Polanco, appeared in court this afternoon, and a judge denied him bond.
We have live team coverage from the sheriff's office, the courthouse, and the hospital. We started with West 2's Pam Lacombe, who broke the story last night. Pam, the sheriff released body cam video that shows how this all happened.
Yeah, and it just gives us a better feel of that moment. This body cam video is actually from a trainee who was with that deputy. They were at that house investigating an incident that happened earlier that day. In that body cam, you'll see the shots go off and them race off to try and find cover. We do want to warn you before we show you this that there will be some blood. But again, that deputy is alive and is expected to fully recover. That person you see walk out of the house and immediately open fire is 31-year-old Luis Diaz Polanco. The sheriff says he fired 12 shots at deputies. He reportedly told officers if he had not run out of ammunition, he would have continued shooting and, quote, been forced to kill the deputy. That's what he said. Deputy Jose Rivera was hit in the shoulder and leg, but the body cam apparently deflected a shot that would have hit him in the chest. The sheriff says it was clear Diaz Polanco wanted to hurt his officers.
But the trail of shells from the front door to where you see Deputy Rivera leaning on the car would indicate he fired at him and followed him down that driveway and followed deputies.
The sheriff says on February 14th, there was a history of Diaz Polanco getting on an AI platform and asking the chatbot if he could kill someone if they visited his property. When talking to deputies, he told them he was also schizophrenic and did not like taking his medication. Now, the sheriff says there were also two people who lived on the property. This was in a shed in the back of the house. The two of them were detained when deputies responded yesterday. They were questioned, but then after they were released, the sheriff says they have absolutely nothing to do with what happened at that home yesterday. Covering Volusia County, live in Daytona Beach, Pamela Combe, West 2 News.
Meanwhile, the sheriff is calling this a miracle in the line of duty and credits the quick actions by his other deputies for helping to save Deputy Rivera's life. West 2's Spencer Tracy is at Halifax Health in Daytona Beach, where deputies have been coming and going all day. Spencer.
Yeah, Michelle, we've definitely seen the support and love from his fellow deputies, and we know that his 3 children and his family are by his side. And we know that not only he is a deputy, but we also know that he is a veteran, and in this case, truly a fighter. It was all hands on deck and a race against time to get Deputy Jose Rivera to the hospital.
Those deputies didn't wait.
This video last night shows Deputy Rivera being rolled out on a stretcher after being shot in the line of duty. You can see him give a hand gesture to his fellow deputies just before he was airlifted to Daytona Beach.
Sometimes that angel on your shoulder is the reason that you survive. And that young man last night had an angel on his shoulder.
Body cam video shows deputies wrapping his arm, loading him in the back of a squad car, and driving him to the closest hospital in Deltona. Rivera, a father of 3, is surrounded by his family, and deputies have been coming and going all day to visit him at the hospital.
We all went up to see him today at different parts of the day. When I got there, he was eating chicken and waffles and watching SpongeBob. Tell me that's not typical of a father of 3.
Before joining the sheriff's office, he served with Orange City Police and was sworn back in 2020. Rivera is also a U.S. veteran and a recent Academy graduate of the sheriff's office.
He's been here since 2023, and he is one of our top performers. He tried out for K-9 recently.
And Sheriff Chitwood also tells us that Deputy Rivera is expected to be discharged from the hospital tomorrow. And he also told us that he's wanted Deputy Rivera to fly in the chopper for quite some time. And Sheriff Chitwood says he plans to do that for him and Deputy Rivera's wife tomorrow. I'm covering Volusia County, live in Daytona Beach. Spencer Tracy, West 2 News.
All right, Spencer. Now, according to his arrest report, 31-year-old Luis Diaz Polanco told investigators he stopped taking his schizophrenia medication. West 2 investigative reporter Justin Shecker was at the hearing today in court where a judge denied bond. He's live outside from the suspect's home in Deltona. Justin, what did you learn today?
Well, Jesse, the arrest report says after the shooting, Luis Diaz Polanco got inside this white Kia parked in the driveway, and deputies used a patrol car to block him in as it looked like he was trying to get away. During his interview with investigators, Diaz Polanco acknowledged that shooting at law enforcement was wrong, but he also said he would have kept shooting.
Okay, Luis Jose Diaz Polanco.
Yes.
Sir, you were here on 2 counts of attempted murder of a law enforcement officer with a firearm.
During his brief first appearance from the Volusia County Branch Jail, the public defender asked the judge to grant 31-year-old Luis Diaz Polanco a $500,000 bond with GPS monitoring. But the judge agreed with the state to keep him locked up with no bond.
These are first-degree felonies, punishable by life. Proof is evident. Presumption is great. The state is requesting the court leave the bond set at none for the safety and protection of the public.
This photo taken by a neighbor in Deltona shows Diaz Polanco on the ground next to the white Kia in the driveway right before deputies took him into custody on Monday.
My son was in the garage watching TV. I was inside with my daughter getting ready to change her, and then I heard about 5 or 6 gunshots.
Reese Smith says he stayed inside with his family for about an hour until deputies knocked on his door, and then he discovered damage to his truck.
The deputies took off this way and they used my vehicle as protection, and I got a couple bullet holes in my truck. My wife's car got grazed up at the top.
He says he had almost no contact with Diaz Polanco since he moved onto Candler Drive.
They're renters. All I know is a homeowner came in, remodeled the whole home, and like I said, they've been living there for maybe 3 months. They've kept to themselves. I've never really spoke with them, and then all of a sudden this happens.
The arrest report for Diaz Polanco says he told detectives he'd been off his schizophrenia medication for about a month due to a missed appointment. It also says Luis stated that if he had not run out of ammunition, he would have continued shooting and been forced to kill the deputy. Smith says he's thankful nobody else on his street got hit by gunfire and that Deputy Jose Rivera is expected to make a full recovery.
Thank God for that body cam, because otherwise who knows what would happen to that guy.
As Diaz Polanco walked back to the jail after his hearing, he could be heard telling his lawyer something like, "I need to talk to my mom." The prosecutor says the state is planning to file a motion for his pretrial detention. Covering Volusia County Live in Deltona, I'm Justin Shecker, West 2 News.